Nicole, we've had people coming onto the program and saying because of stress and because of depression, etc., 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 that farmers need to get off the farm and have a break. A lot of them, as in the farmers, are saying, I can't afford to go.
Yeah.
You will suggest that they can't afford not to.
I completely agree with that, Rob. I believe that, you know, it's hard to consider taking a holiday when you are in a tough time. But I do think that holidays offer a few things. Something to look forward to, especially when times are tough. It sort of gives you a light at the end of the tunnel. It gives you a chance to recharge, because when you're stressed, when you're exhausted, your decision making isn't as strong, and you tend not to be as rational all the time with what you're thinking about. And also, it's a chance to recharge with your family, to reconnect and actually spend time with your wife, with your kids, with your husband, and actually get away from the stress, get that weight off your shoulders.
I've been there, and I understand that you've been
Yes. Yes, most definitely. You know, being in the travel industry can actually be quite a stressful job. And I've been there where I said, I don't have time, I can't afford to. And it really did me in. And only at a point when my doctor finally said, you need to take a week off, have a break, you know, get some perspective. And I did that. And I tell you, it really, you know, brought me back, and I was able to get back to work and work better, work harder, in a different way. More efficiently, of course, because when you're stressed, when you're exhausted, when you're worrying constantly, it is so hard to, no matter how passionate you are about what you do, it is so hard to get up and do that every day.
And you don't see the wood for the trees.
Of course, you know, and like I said, you don't see a light at the end of the tunnel. You don't have anything to look forward to, and you're constantly thinking about the negatives.
Let's look at some of the destinations, because you are in the travel industry.
Yeah.
And most people would instantly think that it's going to cost you thousands, but it hasn't necessarily.
It doesn't have to. I mean, the sky's the limit with travel, and our job at World Travelers, of course, is to make a holiday that suits the family. If someone comes to me and says, look, we don't want to spend a fortune, we just want to get away for, you know, a few nights or 5 nights, just someplace maybe warm, where we can either chill on the beach or spend time doing things as a group, you know, we can make that happen. We pride ourselves on listening to people and actually taking into account what they're going through, and then tailor-making something for them. Even just this morning, before I came here, I thought it would be really valuable for me to just have a look. If someone was to call me up today and say, Nicole, I really want to go on a break, I don't care where it is, I want it to be warm, something I can do with the family, and I just priced up a really basic holiday to the Gold Coast. Return airfares, 7 nights accommodation in a 2-bedroom, 4-star apartment, car hire, a 3-day pass to go to theme parks, and insurance, and it was coming in at $3,500. And that's for a family of 4.
So that's 4 people?
2 adults and 2 children under 12. And you know, when you kind of think about the cost of that $3,500, you know, in the grand scheme of life, in the grand scheme of what they're going through, what people who need a holiday are going through, that's really a drop in the bucket. And it sort of becomes a case of, I can't afford to, but can you afford not to, you know? And it doesn't always have to be an international holiday. It could be something, find a really nice holiday home somewhere in the North Island where the weather might be a bit more, you know, temperate, and something like that. So there's a lot of options out there.
I don't think, Nicole, there would be a banker in New Zealand who wouldn't forward $3,500.
Well, especially to someone who's obviously working so hard. You know, the situation with the farming industry is not a secret to the citizens of this country. Everyone knows what's going on. Everyone feels for them. Everyone understands where they're coming from, you know? And at the end of the day, the farming industry is such a big part of this country. We need to be looking after them as much as they're looking after us in what they're doing. You know, and I don't want to sit here and go on and on about, you know, finance and that sort of stuff, but we have, you know, we have interest-free, 12-month interest-free options available.
I want you, incidentally, I want you to carry on.
Well, we have 12-month interest-free options year-round. So if someone comes in and they go, look, I don't want to get a big loan that's going to be 20%. I don't want to use a credit card that's going to be 18%. What can you offer me? Well, we have an option for interest-free for 12 months. And so, again, if you actually look at that, that's an alternative that people can use. And that's an alternative that allows us to make that holiday a reality and to make that break with the family, you know, an option for them. Because I know that my situation was really difficult, and, you know, I was pretty comfortable still. I can't imagine what these folks must be going through. And I just want to stress so much that we understand, we want to be there to help as much as we can.
So you really are a safety net, which is good.
Well, that's a really lovely thing to say, actually. I've never looked at it that way, but I can tell you that the best time for me is when a client comes back from a holiday and they say, man, we needed that, and we're so grateful. We're so grateful that you were able to put that together for us. And like I said, if someone wants to go and lie on a beach for a week, we can make it happen. If they go, you know what, we're going to be bored, we can make other things happen. Sky's the limit.
I don't think I'd be bored lying on a beach, quite frankly, but even that was, because it's interesting that your doctor told you, not advised you. My doctor told me.
Yeah,
Poof,
yeah.
Get out of here,
Yeah,
Williams.
I had to have a week off. It was, yeah, she wrote me like a note and all that. And, you know, it's not to say that it was, you know, anyone's fault or anything. It was just circumstances at the time. And just like what they're going through, it's circumstances of this time and what's happening with things that are outside of their control. And I think it's really important that people keep a bit of perspective in all of this, because, you know, it does often seem like when things are bad, they're never going to get better. And there won't be, like I said, that light at the end of the tunnel. But this will pass, and you need to look after yourself during the bad times so that you are still around for the good times.
Having been there, it's interesting, because I like to say that I have been there, because people then sort of go, you poor devil. But I'm not looking for sympathy. I'm just saying this is the reality. Exactly. Is that, yes, you do come back.
Yep.
Absolutely charged, and you look at things totally differently.
Yep. You come back with a stronger sort of motivation, and sort of almost like you're a bit more fortified. You know, you're ready. The weight has slightly been lifted, and you're ready to face the new challenges that are ahead of you. You're ready to, you know, continue the fight, whatever you're doing, and it puts you in a better stead to do those things. And that break, like I said, it doesn't even have to be some amazing exotic location. It can literally be something as simple as Australia, as simple as a holiday home up in the Bay of Islands. You know, there's options out there for people.
The interesting thing, of course, is your timing is beautiful, because the carving starts sort of late July, early August.
Right.
So it is time for people. How much lead time do you need to get the bookings in?
Well, like I said, I mean, obviously when it comes to booking holidays, it's always a better idea to look at something further in advance. You know, if someone were to come to us and say, right, we're involved in the farming industry, we want to go on a holiday sometime during these months, and they come to us, you know, 8 or 9 months out, of course we're going to have more choices. But like I said, this morning when I looked up an option, it was for about 6 weeks from now. And that was just one example. If someone was desperate, I could get them out tomorrow.
And anticipation is half the delight, of course.
Well, exactly. It's having something to look forward to and going, what are we doing all this for? You know, why are we doing what we're doing? Are we doing it just to get up and do the same thing again and again every day? Or are we doing it to create a life for ourselves with our families and to have memories made? And
very briefly, here's your advertisement. You're the personal touch rather than trying to do it on your own through the internet.
Yeah, I mean, look, I completely understand there's people out there who love to do it on their own, and there's nothing wrong with that. They like to sit there and plan. I've done that myself, and I do spend hours, you know, doing that. But part of what we do is we have access to literally everything you could think of. We know how to get the best airfares. We know how to handle problems. A big issue right now at this time of year is people not being able to fly out of Christchurch due to weather. I've already had a few this year due to ice, and a few years ago in that big snowstorm, I had heaps of clients who could not get out to get to their holiday. And, you know, there's lines a mile long at the airport. People are waiting in line. Our clients call us up. We go, right, we've got you on the next available flight. We sorted out accommodation in Auckland. You'll be on your holiday in 24 hours.
Nicole, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Rob.